Good evening. We'll go ahead and call to order the Village Board meeting for Monday, March 4th, 2013. And if we could have the clerk call the roll, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Emery.
Here.
Trustee Fleming.
Here.
Trustee Klebanow.
Here.
Trustee Nero.
Here.
Trustee Scott.
Here.
Manager Searle.
Here.
Attorney Zemanek.
Here.
Finance Director Parker. Police Chief Mulhern. Fire Chief Weiss.
Here.
Acting Community Development Director Malik. That's it.
Great, thank you. If you'll join us in the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Under reports, we have a very nice presentation this evening. This is the Cool Cities Award from the Sierra Club. And we have with us this evening, if you would just say your name, please.
Sure. My name is Lonnie Morris, and I am with the Sierra Club. I am their Cool Cities Chair. And it is my pleasure tonight to present this Achievement Award to the Village of Westmont for their accomplishments as a cool city. So I'm very pleased to present this.
This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And if I may say a few words?
Absolutely,
Okay.
please.
Kind of highlighting some of the things that you have accomplished since the previous mayor signed on to the agreement. That agreement was written by a mayor. It was the mayor of Seattle, Greg Nichols. And when signing it, each mayor was making a commitment to reduce the greenhouse gases in their community by 7% below 1990 levels by the year 2012. So we know 2012 is over, and we took a look at all of the cool cities in Illinois, and there are 57 of them. And we evaluated their accomplishments during that time. And so when we looked at Westmont, we found that you have a climate action plan, and that is hugely significant. I know that 2 citizens worked on that climate action plan. George Hamper was the lead on it, and that was quite an accomplishment. Not all of our cool cities were able to do that, and Westmont was. The significant achievement is when you went out for electricity aggregation. As a cool city, and you might not have been thinking exactly this way, but you were looking for opportunities to reduce greenhouse gases, and you knew that buying renewable energy was going to do that, and you took advantage of that opportunity. It is one of the benefits of having made this commitment and set that goal, is you begin looking for those opportunities, those low cost, and in this case, it wasn't even low cost, it was money-saving opportunity to support a clean energy economy. And tonight, this award is in recognition of that. I also have, and I'm just going to leave this, we have Cool Cities 2.0. That first agreement completed in 2012. But communities like yours who are building momentum around sustainability told us that they would like to continue on. So we wrote a second agreement that I'm going to leave here tonight so that you may consider it, investigate it, see if it fits in with your vision of Westmont as a sustainable community. We hope that it does and that you will continue on.
Thank you.
And I met today with NICOR, and NICOR has an energy savings program that will save your residents money and bring back the money into this community so that they can make changes in their weatherization, in their insulation, that will save them money over the long term. So I'm just going to leave this for you to share with your residents.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more photo? Yeah. We'd like to do one real quick for our newsletter. Thank you.
Okay.
Stage.
You want up here?
Right there's good. Yeah. 1, 2. One more. Thanks. How those awards go.
Mm-hmm.
Just please.
That's very nice. Isn't that cool? Yes. Again, thank you for that wonderful award, and I have to say thank you to all of our employees and staff, because, they're the people that really make these things happen, and we have wonderful employees and staff, and thank you for all of their hard work. The other thing I wanted to just quickly mention this evening is I had an opportunity to go to the musical, the spring musical at Westmont, Big. It was incredible. I kind of wondered how they were going to do it after seeing the Tom Hanks movie, but I'll tell you, those kids pulled it off. Very talented. Sabrina Scott starred and is phenomenal. If you've not seen her, she's really a good actress and did a great job. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. She takes after her mother.
And that's all I have, Madam Clerk.
I just want to remind everybody once again that you have until the 12th, which is a week from tomorrow, to register to vote if you are not registered at this point. So,
Oh, candidate forum, too.
pardon?
Candidate forum.
Oh, and the candidate forum, I'm sorry, is Wednesday night starting at 6. So tune us in. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Attorney Zemanek.
Yeah, just one thing. On Thursday evening, the board discussed the loss of tax revenue as a result of the loss of home rule powers of the village and the budgetary impact that would have on the village. And I promised the board we'd look into some of the other taxing sources that were available to the village as a non-home rule community. We have a memo that Anne Marie prepared in that regard. It was emailed out sometime after, I think, 5 o'clock. So I don't have paper copies to pass out, but look in your email box. It's quite an extensive list. All these taxes are pretty much not general fund type taxes, but taxes that have to be used for a specific purpose. And after you take a look at that, and I'll confer with Ron, if there's anything you want to bring up in that regard in the future, you can do so. That's all I have.
Thank you. Manager Cyril.
Thank you. The only thing I have is to request an executive session for personnel.
Thank you. Okay. Consent agenda. I believe there's nothing to be pulled off this evening, so with that, we will have a motion.
Motion to approve Emery.
Second, Scott.
Roll call.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes. Unfinished business, sprinkler ordinance review. Board to consider an ordinance amending certain provision of the building code and fire code regarding fire sprinkler and alarm requirements. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve as previously discussed.
Second, Fleming.
Any discussion?
Yes, just one item. So I prepared the draft. I think we'll probably finished it later this morning, emailed it to the chief to review. He was fine with it. We just wanted to make sure, between the chief and I, that we understood the direction about the moratorium on sprinkler installation over the next 24 months, that moratorium only applied to central business district properties. Good, we were right. And of course, there are still the exceptions that, or the triggers, where businesses would have to install sprinklers, but those who otherwise are kind of grandfathered they would have to install sprinklers in a 24-month period. We started that from June 30th of this year through, well, I guess 24 months from there.
Right.
15.
2015.
15.
15, right. That's all I have on that.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Klebanow.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes. New business. One-way roadway restriction, Travis Street. Board to consider an ordinance amending the times of the one-way road restrictions for Travis Street between Grant Street and Washington Street in front of Miller School.
Motion to approve Emery.
Second, Scott.
And what does the ordinance say as to when it'll take effect?
August 1st.
Okay. So next school year.
Any other discussion or questions? Roll call?
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Liquor license reduction. Board to consider an ordinance reducing the number of allowable liquor licenses to reflect the actual number of licenses issued by the village as follows. 1, reduce Class 3 liquor licenses by 1. 2, reduce Class 1 liquor licenses by 1. We can take those together.
Motion to approve both 1 and 2. Emery.
Second, Nero.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes. Liquor license waiver fee, Fat Tuesday Progressive Dinner. Board to consider an ordinance to approve a special events liquor license fee waiver for Uncle Bub's Restaurant for the Downtown Progressive Dinner, which occurred on February 12, 2013, in the amount of $100. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve. Emery.
Second, Nero.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Amendment to Administrative Hearing System. Board to consider an ordinance amending Chapter 78, Article 2 of the Westmont Code of Ordinances to allow an administrative hearing system along with vehicle seizure and impoundment practice as a non-home rule community.
Motion to approve Emery as previously discussed.
Second, Scott.
Any discussion?
Trustee Emery wanted to make sure on Thursday night that we were repealing the current ordinance and replacing it with this ordinance. And I looked back over it. In fact, it doesn't require a complete repeal. It just really requires some amendments and modification of the statutory section we're relying on.
Okay.
So I appreciate that because it raised a question in my own mind whether we were doing it correctly.
Anything else? Roll call?
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Professional Services Agreement, M.E. Simpson. Board to consider an ordinance approving an agreement with M.E. Simpson Company to perform a village-wide professional leak detection service on behalf of the village.
Motion to approve. Emery.
Second, Nero.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes. Loss of Home Rule Program Adjustments. Board to consider an ordinance repealing the following programs that were adopted during the Village of Westmont status as a home rule community. 1, motor fuel tax. 2, sales tax increase. 3, multifamily licensing, and that can be taken as one.
Motion to approve items 1, 2, and 3. Emery.
Second, Fleming.
Any discussion?
I think we've said all we've got to say.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Thank you. 2013 Legislative Action Program. Board to consider a resolution adopting the 2013 Legislative Action Program developed by the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference.
Motion to approve. Emery.
Second, Nero.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Emery.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Fleming.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow.
Yes.
Thank you. Term limits on elected officials. Board to discuss the adoption of term limits on elected officials.
Can we do this at a voting meeting, or do we have to pass it to the next committee of the whole?
We can discuss it tonight. That's why it's just on for discussion, and if you want to move forward, it will get placed on for action at the next set of meetings.
You want to summarize your findings?
Sure. So I passed an opinion letter out to you. In that letter, I identified it's really the Illinois Constitution that requires that terms of elected officials, if they're to be altered, needs to be done by referendum rather than just the unilateral action of this board. I think the big question was, can this board place that referendum question on the ballot for the general election in November? And the answer is yes. There's a minimum time period by which you have to place it on. The maximum time period is no more than 1 year before the election. So this board can take action, and as long as there aren't other, I think it's no more than 3 referendum items on one ballot pertaining to our community, and
That includes all taxing bodies.
yes. So, if you want to act, you have the authority to do so. What we would need, I think, a discussion on is what the referendum question would state. We discussed loosely, possibly no more than 2 consecutive 4-year terms, but can you come back on the board after you take some time off? How long is that time? Can you be appointed back on the board if there's a vacancy? Things like that need to be addressed so that the question is worded as clearly as possible.
Well, I think that since a resolution can't be filed more than a year before the election, it couldn't be filed then before November of 2013,
Right.
correct?
No more than a year before.
Yeah.
So the next, and it says that the general, the Constitution is specific in specifying it to take place at the general election.
Which would be
Right,
November
so-
14.
So it would be November of
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
2014. And so
Is
the
that when the
resolution.
next general election is?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
2014. So it couldn't be filed before November of 2013. And although we've discussed this and we have different feelings on it, half this board's going to be replaced when they get sworn in May. So I'm not comfortable personally doing a resolution which can't even be filed till November, which is a year before the election. So even though I would like to see term limits and all of that, I think that due to the timing of it, that it should rest on the next board.
I don't know why. Maybe it was because of the time crunch in preparing this today and looking at it. I was under the impression the next general election was this year, and it's in fact a year and a half from now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I would have to concur. I mean,
we can't
it's,
even do it now
you know what,
anyways.
I mean, it's, I hope they take everything into account when it's discussed again,
well,
but at this point,
and I think it's something that, regardless of whether or not you're leaving the board, I think your input on this is important because we've been thinking about this for a while now. So perhaps we could discuss the actual,
Want to make a motion to postpone it to a specific date after the new board is seated?
and then I was going to say, then have you come in and participate in that discussion?
Well, one of the other things is that we could do, we could vote to say, yes, you know, we want it on there, and then let the new board pick the wording. But that still imposes something on them, so,
But you can even do a non-binding resolution that you urge the future board to take this up
To take the action?
and table consideration of it until, as you say, a date certain.
Oh, I said that.
in-
When everybody
Sorry,
can come and
Ron said
have
that.
input?
yeah, like in the summer sometime, late summer, so that it does get filed by November 13th.
By November.
Or right after November 13th. So I'm in favor of the resolution, or,
sure, that's
I
fine.
need one, right?
yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
binding, you have to do what we say.
So do we then postpone this and do
Well-
the resolution at the next?
It's not on for any action tonight, just on for discussion. So I recommend putting it on the next agenda for discussion of a non-binding resolution regarding term limits.
Okay.
And we can put something together. If you want to discuss further tonight, or just save it till the next committee of the whole about how, you know, whether you want to actually put language in there, what you would like to, how you'd like to see that read.
Yeah, we can give our thoughts then.
Might as well give some direction.
Sure.
Well, we do a lot of things that we want done in the future, so future boards know, just like the comp plan. So we've got to let them know what our reasons were and why we decided to do this, or at least put it in their hands with our ideas.
I know one of the things that Trustee Nero, I believe, brought up was that he'd like to see this apply to commissions as well. Can we do that?
You know, the Constitution mentions elected officials, and
Oh, and they're not elected.
Yeah, they're appointed.
They're appointed, and their terms are set by statute, and I'd probably rather not.
Okay, okay. And this would not have any impact on other taxing bodies within the community,
Correct.
just us.
Yeah, I think, go ahead.
Well, what this trustee Seneca is talking about, the commissions, that's up to the mayor to kind of automatically
Yeah,
do that.
right.
If we're going to do it for everybody else, it's kind of a thing where it should be
It
rotated
could be
also.
administered that way.
Yeah.
Sure.
As we talked before, I like the idea of, since we are elected in rotation, but for 4-year terms, and the mayor is elected for a 4-year term, that they be no more than 2 consecutive terms, which allows somebody, if they sit out 4 years, to come back, and they might be real popular. I mean, FDR might have gotten reelected again, but I would like to exclude the clerk from this, though, because the clerk is an extremely detailed administrative position that is not widely sought after, and for all the training and the work that's done, if somebody really likes doing it, I think he or she should be allowed to keep going. It benefits the village.
Sure.
And, I was actually thinking about that, too. And I know some towns appoint a clerk. And would there be any reason why we couldn't do the same, but the salary would be what the clerk's salary is today? So it's not a 40-hour person that's getting benefits and all of that.
I
But
think by the
could
way
we
we're
not-
set up as a village, clerk is an elected
So we
position.
we couldn't change that?
That would have to be another referendum.
That would be a referendum.
Well, let's put 3 referendums on, so the new board can't put any more, because there's a 3 referendum
Well, and let's be
limit.
careful how we do, we want people to understand it, so we have to be careful how we word it.
I know.
I have a question. 2 consecutive terms, let's see, if you run for 2 terms, you take 2 years off, can you run again? Or is it you have to take 4 years off before you can run again? I don't know what,
Well, there's another election in 2 years, so.
Yeah.
so it would
Yeah,
be
you
just
could-
2 years?
yeah,
2 years.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No, sorry. Though, I don't think that's a bad idea to do a referendum to have the Westmont clerk be an appointed position. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that would, Ginny, I hate to use you as an example, but you're sort of
But she's
like
going
to. There's not a lot of comparison. The fact that she still puts out her notices and here's my position as clerk, when I read the flyers, I'm like, bless you, Ginny, but you're unopposed. But she lets people know what she does and what what her role is.
But with that being said, we've got a good one,
Matriarch.
okay? We've got a great clerk.
Right, and so.
But there could be a time in the future of the community that we don't.
Well, here's the other thing is
Then
that
you could get rid of them,
Yeah.
too.
it's an appointment, that's true. An appointment, you can, change the appointment. And if you get a crappy one.
You can change it.
That's in the rule of words I'm allowed to say. That by election, you're stuck.
You are stuck.
You are stuck.
But that would be for whoever sits in the mayor's seat or sits in a trustee's seat. You could have the greatest person sitting there for 8 years in one of those seats. And sorry, Charlie, they're out the door, no matter how good they could. But, and it's the same as in the clerk. I've never seen the one, was it Mr. Fry's? Was she replaced? I mean.
Elmer.
There's no way, Elmer, yeah, there's no way Elmer would do it. I don't know if any clerk has done what Jenny has turned that into. And I don't know if there'll ever be another clerk that'll do that.
Well, since we're going to do a resolution to bring, that we would like the next board to consider with two-term limit, consecutive terms, I think we should think over the pros. I'd like to think over the pros and cons, because I think it's an important thing to do the best to ensure a good clerk.
I agree, and we all want to spread our wings and say we're all so important, but really, I think the clerk's a little more important than any of us sitting here, including the mayor.
Because when you get a bad one, I mean.
Exactly, and a lot goes on in that clerk's office. I mean, it's not just sitting up here and taking roll call. There's a lot more work
Right.
that is associated with the position of clerk.
But I don't think any
City of
clerk before
Dixon.
has been,
Yeah.
like Jenny, where on her own, she would come in the morning and open up the clerk's office, and she'll be closing it, and she'll does that. She's done that on her own. That was not a required thing from any other clerk. She created that because this is how she put her heart into it. Will you ever see that again for somebody receiving under $10,000 a year salary? I doubt it.
Maybe you could run for
You're not
clerk,
gonna get
because then
that.
you would be shamed into doing more. You would feel you would have to do more than Ginny did, so look at all the stuff the village would get from you. Just a thought.
The next several months are going to be quite interesting, aren't they?
Afraid so.
So do you want to think about that?
Yeah.
Put it on the agenda just for the term
Yeah.
limits, and if you want
Yeah.
to add it for the voting meeting, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
you can
Throw
just-
that in there, throw that in the hopper, too.
Yeah.
Have to be two separate
Who knows, we may come up
referendums?
with something else.
We
and
come up with a
apply and
hat
say, hey,
trick? Is
combine
there
into
anything
one
else?
referendum?
Hat trick? Anything else?
Term limits and appointing the clerk?
I'll have to check. I believe it's two separate.
We'd have to do two separate, because if somebody liked one but not the other,
They wouldn't want to,
then they're
okay.
like, how do I vote?
Right.
Well, do you want it on the agenda for discussion?
I think we should talk about it more and look
separate
into it.
items.
How long do you have to wait to put the home rule referendum back on?
2 years.
3 months. 23 months, or you annex.
Yeah, we
No,
could put it
kidding.
back on as our third referendum.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Good. We have a lot to consider, so we'll put this on another
Okay.
agenda.
Great.
Okay, and that is all for our regular meeting and
Motion to adjourn to executive session
for personnel.
for personnel.
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Emery?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Fleming?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Klebanow?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Senni?
Yes. Thank you.